I'm Lynne Boyer, and you're listening to The Heart of the Y, a podcast that celebrates the experiences of our Y professionals. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our new podcast. This is called The Heart of the Y. And this is a new initiative that we're doing, interviewing staff and employees that work for the YMCA of Greater Nashua, the people behind the amazing impact that we do as an organization, and to learn about their Y story, how they got here, what they love about their work, and so much more. So I am so thrilled to have our very first guest on this first episode of this podcast, my very dear friend and colleague, Carlisa Choate. Hi, Carlisa. Thank you for joining us. So just tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of your Y background and how you ended up to work for our organization.
Okay, first, I'm Carlisa. Um, I, I don't have a strong, long history of working for the Y, but I've been a part of the Y since my children were very small. They used to go to the traditional Y, the one on Prospect Street many years ago. They went for basketball, swim lessons. They were part of the team programming. And so that's kind of how I was introduced to the Y because I'm originally from Connecticut. Came here, got my education, got married. I have three beautiful daughters. My husband has been a part of the Y forever. His family has been a part of the Y forever. And somehow, some way, I stumbled upon the Y to work here. So my Y story is how I got connected to the Y. I got connected to the Y because I was an at-home mom and I needed something to do. So on Prospect Street, I used to come in and volunteer in Kids Stop when Kids Stop was a volunteer position. So that's how I got here initially. Um, I stayed home for 9.5 years with my children, and eventually I went into childcare myself. I started a program out in Pelham, New Hampshire, at my church, and I ran that childcare center for 20 years before closing in 2023. And at that point, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life after that. I had been in childcare for many years, and prior to childcare, I was in television journalism. Um, I always like to brag that I worked with Gail King, Oprah Winfrey's best friend, and I ended up quitting that job because I didn't like the media. I didn't want to interview people on those hard stories. I wanted to hug them and cry with them. So maybe I should have been Oprah. So anyway, from there I went on to becoming a long-term substitute teacher for first grade. And I read an article in the Essence magazine many years ago. I still remember the author. I think his name was Kelly Wise, and he was from Phillips Academy. And he said there was a shortage of minority teachers, and I just responded to the article, and he offered me a position to go to graduate school. So that's how I initially got from Connecticut, from where I'm from, to New Hampshire. I ended up coming from my master's in education. So I received that at UMass Lowell. And so my story just keeps going and going and going until I closed the center and I decided, hey, what am I going to do with myself? And someone here at the Y found my resume on Indeed. And so that's where I turned it over to, to you, Lynne.
Yes, yeah. And Carlisa and I talk about this often. Neither of us believe in coincidences. We both feel that things certainly happen for a reason. So I think I got your application resume. I think you had applied for maybe a wellness role, or I can't remember what it was, but we were hiring for our school age programming for a director at that time. And so your resume was passed along to me. And I got super excited about it because overly qualified, which is great. It's always great to get an application like that. And then I think we called you in, and you and I hit it off right away. And I can share that from the Y's perspective. We really felt that you would be a key part to our organization, but in a higher position, something more than just a school age, director. And like I said, you were overly qualified anyway. Um, so then, yeah, it's kind of history from there. And that was what, like 2.5 years ago, I think.
Yep.
Yeah,
2023. Yeah.
yeah.
I was
And
happy to meet you
so,
then.
yeah. And so, recently you said something about realizing that you are now part of the Y movement. Do you mind sharing that story with us?
Sure. So when I came onto the Y, I just knew the Y as the place that my kids went swimming, where they played basketball, where my husband played every um, lunchtime, played basketball. And then it was a place that I started working. And I was excited to be here. Um, but I didn't really know anything about the Y. I just knew it was all of those things, the workout place, the swim place, and now it's where I work. And in being in upper management, I began to learn things that we don't really publicize, and that's we give more than we take in. And one day we were sitting in a management meeting. I don't know if it was a management or the operations meeting, and I we were doing an activity that coincidentally, Lynn, you were moderating or facilitating, and the question was, what do you wish someone knew more about the why than that they know? And I was trying to think of like all the things that I do with young people and all the things that I see our amazing staff do with young people. And it wasn't really that. And I'm like, oh, yo, I want them to know like we take care of our kids, but it wasn't really that. What I thought about was I wish that everyone knew that the why will do anything that's legal, of course, but anything for our members or for anyone in the community that needs that help. And I don't know, at that particular moment, it may have been a small moment to someone else, but for me, it was an aha moment because then I became really emotional when I was thinking about that. And I said, this is the why, this is who we are. Our mission is to serve people, no matter where people fall on an economic status, education status, ethnicity status. We're just here for people. And I realized at that moment, oh my gosh, the mission has grew in me. And I think I'm an official wire.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I love that because I think a lot of times when we're asked that question, because we're asked that question a lot, especially when we're out in the community, I always struggle with it because I think like programs, or I think like what's a unique program we offer that not many people know about. But to your point, it's that we will do anything for our members, for our community, to serve them, and make sure that they're taken care of. So I love that. And I love that you feel like you're part of the Y movement now, which is great. Having been a Y lifer myself, having like drank the Kool-Aid, as we say in the biz, many, many years ago, I love to see people have that aha moment, and understand and see how impactful their work really is, because it is. Everybody that works at the Y puts so much into their work, so much passion and so much of themselves. And in turn, we are very blessed to work here as well. I mean, it's an amazing thing to wake up every day and realize the impact that you have through your work, which a lot of people don't get to have. Um, so yeah. So tell us a little bit. We just kind of shifted things a little bit. So just share your title and what you oversee now, 2.5 years in, and maybe what you're looking forward to in the near future.
Okay. So we just kind of did a little shift in our organization, and I moved from the executive director of education to the vice president of youth development and achievement. And what that all means or what that looks like is I started off just overseeing our educational programs, which I'm very passionate about education, um, to adding in overseeing Camp Sargent, as well as trying to develop a strong team program. And if you ask me what my passion is, I mean, I'm passionate, and what I'd love to see is a robust teen program here at the Y. When I go out, just walking the track, or I'm going to the different facilities, we're missing those teens, and I want those teens. It's a very important part of their life where they can have some positive feedback, positive experiences, building strong networks, and that's what my passion is. Hoping to, looking forward in the future, hoping to develop that program. But what I'm really just passionate about, honestly speaking, I'm passionate about the babies all the way up to college students and all the people that work with them.
Yeah.
I believe that every child, whether they're younger or older, has a spark, and any of us that work with them, we're supposed to blow that spark up to the best of our ability. And so I'm looking to get those teams back here in the Y, finding out what it is that they want, finding out what kinds of things they're interested in, and creating spaces that are safe, that are fun, and that are engaging for our teens.
Yeah, absolutely. And in turn, our teens can often become our staff, right?
Yes.
So when they grow up here, whether it's in daycare or they come to us as teenagers, and maybe they're looking for their first job, they might be a lifeguard or kid stop or, in the early education center, wherever it may be, camp. And then it just evolves, right? And it becomes that third place for them outside of school and work, um, or school and home rather. It becomes that third place for them and that safe place, like you said. Um, yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I would love to see our teen demographics just, I mean, we already have them as members, but just to see something more organized, where they can really thrive would be amazing. So what's your favorite part of your job? What's something like when you get up in the morning and you're ready to come, what are you like, what do you look forward to the most every day?
Um, when I get up in the morning, the first thing that I love coming to work for is I love seeing my colleagues. Number one, I know that sounds crazy, but I literally love smiling at every single colleague that I walk by. And then the members, I I don't know, I've gained these amazing connections with members that they tell me their story. And even though I may have a meeting in 5 minutes or 10 minutes, I take the time to listen because what they're saying to me is so impactful, and they're sharing like intimate parts of their life. And that's what we do here at the Y, right? We want
Mhm.
to serve them. So we make sure we take the time to listen to their stories. And many of them have been so impactful just to me as an employee of the Y, and I get to go and share their story as well. So that makes it even even more impactful. But I can tell you, when I get in my office, the first thing I look forward to has nothing to do with my job really, but it's to watch the little friends from our early education program walk by my office and say good morning, good morning, and I get to say it back. That's like, oh, it fills my basket every single day.
Yeah, they're pretty cute. And we just had a big renovation in the early education center. How are you feeling with that behind you, basically behind you at this point?
um, a little bit of relief. But honestly, even though it was a really big project, we moved people around and there were so many delays and so many fixes, and I have to say it was really orchestrated very well. Even, when you're in the middle of it, it was like, oh, I can't wait for this to be over. And now that it's over, we have an amazing facility in our early education centers. Amazing. It has brought so much unity. It's brought so much peace. And it's matching the quality that we were giving our families. Now the place looks like what we were doing already.
Mhm.
So I am happy that it's over though. It was a lot of
Yeah.
work. It was a piece of art, but we've got it. It's here. I think everyone is appreciative of it. And we're so grateful that we have the opportunity to provide families something that's beautiful
Yeah.
on top of the quality that we give.
Yeah, absolutely. It matches what program we've been offering for so long. It's just so bright and welcoming and just yeah, it turned out really, really great. Kudos to you and your team. We saw a lot of creative ideas when, there were delays and other unexpected things that always happen with big projects like this, but to see the whole team pull together to offer creative ideas was a really cool thing to see. So,
It was impressive. And I should say this, and I don't think I say it enough, but our staff to go through the changes that they made during this renovation time, they are absolutely amazing. When I say the staff, I'm talking about the teachers that tried to keep normalcy for these kiddos. They were amazing. They moved when they had to move. Sometimes it was over the weekends, and then they started the next week in a brand new space, and they didn't miss a beat. So I really applaud our staff, the teachers. They really, really, really stepped up to the plate. And in times where it wasn't always pleasant, they did
yeah.
it, and they did
Yeah.
it well.
Yeah. Yep, I totally agree, and we'll be well prepared for the next time.
Not anytime
And
soon,
no,
hopefully.
no, no, not in our career. No, it's great to see, and it just goes to show that when good things come to those that wait and work hard, right? That
Absolutely.
the end result was perfect. Um, so you're obviously an expert in your field. Is there anything that you want to share with families or parents as far as raising young children or teenagers or anything that you feel might be important or helpful for parents?
Um, Obviously, there's no manual for raising kids.
Darn
It's-
it.
that's the quick answer.
Yeah.
My authentic answer is I was blessed to raise three beautiful daughters, and then we eventually had two other uh, boys come join our family. So for about 7 to 8 years, I had five kids. And one of the things that I would always encourage parents is you're doing the best that you can every single day. So don't compare yourself with any other parent. Number two, I would say stay consistent. Be that safe person for your child. You want your child to look at you as not only as their parent, but you want them to look at you as a person that if they're going through something really tough, that it's okay to have those tough conversations with you without you judging them. It's going to be hard sometimes because they're going to probably share some things. If you keep those lines of communication open, they're going to share some things that you don't want to hear.
Yeah.
But it's best that they get to share it with you and not go to their friend who may misguide them. So I would say keep the lines of communication open and remember that you are the parent. Your responsibility is to protect them and to guide them, to lead them, and to help their wings, grow so that eventually you can kind of push them out of the nest and they can fly. But it really requires being very present. Be present with your children. Take the time to cut off the television, to put down the cell phone, and just really just engage with them. Find out what's in their head, find out what they're thinking or how they feel about things, and just being that consistent person that they can talk to about anything,
Yeah.
and they'll
That's
be okay.
great. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's great. It's great advice. Both of the things that you said were great. And obviously, not only admire you as a Y professional, but a parent. And you and your husband have clearly done an amazing job raising your kid. So, um,
Thank you.
yeah. All right, so I'm gonna ask you one last question. I think we
Okay.
covered everything, but this is my favorite icebreaker, and it's always something that I think is just cool to know about people. And I think I've asked you before, but we're gonna let everybody know the answer now. So, what was your very first concert that you ever attended?
Michael Jackson,
Yes. That's awesome.
Thriller.
That's great. I don't think I have asked you because I would have remembered that. So
No, I
clearly
think
we
we
have not
talked
asked
about it
that.
once, but yeah. Oh, yes, Michael Jackson,
That's
all the
great.
way.
That's great. Was that in Connecticut or where was that?
It was. Where was I? Yeah, it was in Connecticut. I was
Yeah.
thinking because I used to go back and forth to Alabama, but it was in Connecticut.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
That's
What was in New
great.
York? Wait a minute. It could have been New. I
Eh,
was living in Connecticut. I
Okay.
just know I saw Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Well, hopefully most of our listeners know who that is.
If they don't,
Hey,
then they
we have
need to connect
problems.
with me.
Yeah.
Contact me. I'm going to tell you who Michael Jackson is.
I love that. Well, now we all know a little bit more about you as a person, as a parent, and a Y professional. So, um, great. Thank you so much for joining me as my first guest in the Heart of the Y. And hopefully, our listeners learned a lot about Carlisa and what she does and the impact that she makes here at the Y. We're so happy to have you, and our organization is very lucky to have you here and the work that you do and the coaching you do and all of it. So, thank you again. And to our audience, we'll see you next time.
Thank you. And I feel so blessed to be here. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye, everybody. You can download The Heart of the Y on Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, Castbox, and Spotify.